Number 5! Number 5's alive! Rach, do you want to tell the listeners what you said to me today?
Lead me in. There was something about
Well, I said,
the movie.
Are you excited to be able to understand all the great quotes from this movie after you watch it? Or you feel like you're going to be in the know? It's just kind of a movie you have to watch. And what was your response?
Something about how I didn't care because the quote that you gave me is so annoying and so in an annoying voice.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. It was like multiple hertz. It was like
Yeah.
stab. You're like, no, because you're annoying, your quotes are annoying, and you have an annoying voice.
I didn't say you were annoying.
Oh, well, that's what I
I
heard.
said the quote was annoying.
That's what I heard.
And it was in an annoying voice that you just happened to do.
Number 5!
I don't stand corrected.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Because now you love the voice. Is that what you mean?
No. It's opposite of
Oh,
what
wait,
I
you
mean.
don't stand corrected. Dang it. Very nice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are rounding out towards the end here. We're on episode 8
Wow.
of Summers Off Season 6.
Mm-hmm.
The end is nigh.
Near
Yep, or near.
or near?
Or near.
Nigh means near.
Yep. And I can't remember in Mario Brothers if there was a sword, but let's just pretend for a second there was, do we count any things like laser shoulder cannons like as swords? Like, I want all my movies to have swords in them, and I'm curious if there's a way to fudge that.
Swords.
He holds a pipe at one point. He swings it around like he's going to hit somebody with it.
We could just go broader and say gratuitous violence.
Okay.
Would that work for you?
Yeah, I think that's almost every one of my films besides maybe My Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All the way back.
All the way
I was
back.
thinking just this season, but I suppose we could broaden that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. St. Almost Fire had a little bit of violence last season, so yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in for an 80s classic. Rach goes, how am I going to feel about this movie when it's done? I was like, you're going to think that maybe I just wasted your time a little bit, but you're not going to hate me after it like Mario Brothers. And you're going to think, oh, well, this is 80s pop culture, and I learned a lot about robots.
How did
I do?
Are there a lot of people going around quoting this movie?
Oh,
Are there
yeah.
A lot of quotes.
Number 5!
Is there anyone else besides you saying that?
No disassemble! No disassemble!
Oh, no.
Reassemble, Stephanie. Reassemble.
I know you don't understand, but when you're dead, you're dead. That's just the way it is. Dead is forever.
Squash. Dead. Disassemble. Dead. Disassemble. Dead!
Hey, slow down!
No disassemble!
Oh, these are going to be in my head at least for a week.
Beautiful!
You're just saying words in a robot voice.
Beautiful!
How would anyone know that was a quote?
Yeah, everybody does it. They're always quoting Short Circuit. People at work, you don't hear them quoting Short Circuit all the time?
Do I?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't know what I was listening for. And
Now
now
you
I'll
do.
know.
Now your ears tuned to it.
Yep, now I'll know.
This was really the Anchorman of the 80s. Like, people quoted the shit out of it. It was crazy.
Very good.
Rach, what was our film this week?
We watched the classic 80s rom-com.
Yeah, what is this?
No,
What-
I don't know.
what-
Just hijinks.
What's the genre? Hijinks? That's the genre?
Comedy hijinks 80s.
Oh, okay.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Is the
Yeah.
genre. Shenanigans. Short Circuit. Short Circuit.
Yep. Short Circuit.
Short Circuit, which is what I have after watching yet another one of these films of yours. No, I'll save that
Ladies
for
and
later.
gentlemen, I think she didn't have as bad of a time as she wants to lead on. I think she's not happy about what I made her endure, but I don't think she's mad.
You don't, huh?
That's where I'm going to land. I'm going to say, I don't think you're mad.
All right. Let's find out.
All right, let's get rocking.
Let's go.
Rach, for those silly Sallies who have never seen the movie Short Circuit, explain the plot for them.
Short circuit. Yes. So we are in the 80s and we are on a military base. As the movie starts, we have some new robots that have been created that are very cute but very deadly, armed with nuclear warfare. So they say. And they don't use any nukes in it, but I think nuke is in their name.
Yeah, I think they talk about like, we'll arm them with a nuke and drive them right up to Moscow and explode them.
Yeah. Anyways, one of these little cuties gets struck by lightning and Frankenstein's it a little bit and then gets to escape the compound and hijinks ensue. Falls in love with a human gal, we'll say.
Yep.
Do they hook up? I don't know.
You tell me.
You tell me. He's making pancakes in the morning. That's all I know about
Oh,
that.
that is a thing. That when you hook up, you're supposed to make pancakes for the partner in the morning. And he does.
Don't think I didn't see that.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that.
Oh, well,
Yep.
now you can't unthink
No,
about it.
now I can't unthink it.
Yeah, so we've got the gal who's there to kind of rescue him, and then she befriends the scientist who created him, who also doesn't necessarily want to destroy him, and then the government trying to shut it down.
Because the government's always a bunch of dicks.
Always trying to have a rain on our parade.
You know what I just realized? And I didn't think about it until you said like they may or not have hooked up. This movie should have won an Oscar. You know why? Because Shape of Water won an Oscar, and they're almost the same plots. Think about it.
Is it?
Yeah. And in fact, I would say Johnny Five, or Number Five, however you want to say, has way more personality than the fish monster in Shape of Water, who's pretty lackluster.
Yeah, I would agree that Johnny Five is the best thing about this film.
Oh, yeah, you agree?
Number five is, in fact, alive.
Yeah, he is. He's awesome.
And everyone should worry about their jobs.
We're going to get into
I
who
hope
voiced
so.
him. And dude, Number Five is awesome. I just want to throw that out there right now.
Yeah.
He's the best.
You can throw it out. I'll take it.
All
I'll
right.
accept that openly.
So, Short Circuit. I saw this movie sometime when I was a kid. I was like obsessed with robot movies.
You?
Yeah. Oh, you're not shocked by this?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think I'm like a sci-fi kid. I'm more of like a fantasy kid. Like I
Sure.
watch a lot of swords and stuff. Like you can see that from the rest of the season. But when I was at a certain age, like from 4 until like 8, I would rent these really bad like robot movies. Like that were just in Blockbuster. There'd just be this random ass robot movie that was really cheaply done. And we would rent it and I would watch the shit out of it.
And you are the one making that call, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think I was like, oh, this robot movie. And my dad knew about Short Circuit from the 80s because this came out in 86 before we were
okay.
born.
Gotcha. So this is an oldie then.
Yep. And so he was like, oh, you're going to love Short Circuit then. So I think we had rented Short Circuit and I watched it. I was like, yeah, I do love it. This is the best ever.
Oh.
So I just was like this little robot nincompoop, just like devouring more input.
Did you have a lot of robots though? Like a robot toys or things? I mean,
Not really.
is the closest thing like a Power Rangers Megazord?
I guess so,
Is that
yeah.
kind of along those lines?
Yeah, I guess the Megazords would count. I had these toys called Z-Bots. They were like in the...
That's definitely a robot.
That's
Whatever
a robot.
you just said, that's a robot.
Yeah, but they didn't really look like robots though. But they're awesome.
Okay.
They're so cool. But yeah, I love this movie. And I love this movie so much. Get this. In 5th grade or 6th grade, I can't remember which one, we had this thing where we could earn a movie on Fridays. And not every Friday. It was like once a month probably. And it was my turn to pick the movie.
Uh-oh.
And I chose to bring Short Circuit in.
Did you now?
Yep. Now, Rach, imagine, we'll say I was in 5th grade because I'm almost positive I was.
Okay.
I'm in 5th grade. Some of the coolest girls are in my class.
Sure.
You know, like the girls, Lady Cards, girls basketball team, pretty much all sitting there. It's future state champs. And I thought the way I'm going to impress all these gals is to show them the movie Short Circuit. Now, where do you think my teacher may have been horrified that this was the movie that I had brought?
Oh, I'm trying to think of when the first like cuss word comes in.
Well, we see a bird.
Oh, the middle finger.
We see the middle finger probably in the first 5 minutes.
Flipping the middle finger. I mean, that probably would be the first one.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And then we hear like shit like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever hear an F-bomb, but we just hear a ton of S-bombs.
Yeah. They say bitch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Hell.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
G
in
damn
between.
it.
Hey, Laser Lips, your mama was a snowblower.
It's a PG.
Yeah, it's a PG.
And then there's robot sex, which
Oh,
is also very concerning.
yeah. Tell the listeners about that scene. I think we
Yeah.
should set this up early.
Sure. So, number 5 is watching some movies as they do,
Mm-hmm.
and they're watching the movie Saturday Night Fever,
Yep.
and John Travolta is boogieing.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a scene where John Travolta and his leading lady do a couples dance in that. So number 5 grabs his lady partner,
Uh-huh.
who was the character Stephanie, actress played by Stephanie. What's the name of the actress?
Ally Sheedy.
Ally Sheedy. So better known from Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she's like the rebel one, if you know Breakfast
Yes.
Club.
She's brilliant in that.
I don't know about
I'll
that.
leave it at that. Well, she's really good in the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, she's okay.
She's better than this. Anyways, and they dance the night away, and then it cuts to he's making her breakfast in the morning. So who knows?
More than a woman. More than a woman to me.
number 5.
Oh, and right before this, he bursts in on her in the bathtub, and he goes, "Stephanie, beautiful."
Mhm. He says, "Nice software."
Yeah, and his eyebrows raised. And you're like, oh, wow, he's starting to really come alive.
Yeah.
Stephanie, change color. Attractive. Nice software.
Boy, you sure don't talk like a machine.
So are those all moments, or did you even get that far?
Oh, we got
when
that
you
far.
watched
We
it.
watched the whole thing.
Your teachers watched you let you watch this
Oh
whole
my
thing?
gosh, Rach. And here's why I think what I did wasn't that big of a deal. Because in 6th grade, the next year,
Yep.
a girl had seen a movie over the weekend with her parents, and she's like, oh, I should bring it. It's my turn to bring the movie in this next week. You know, at Blockbuster, you're in a movie for a week. So she brings this movie in, and the teachers are like, you guys just watched it? She's like, yeah, it's totally appropriate, because they even questioned her. I was in the class.
Of course.
And they were like, okay, just I want to make sure this is going to be acceptable for our classroom. They're like, yeah, there's really no bad parts. They put in the movie Pleasantville.
Oh.
And we watched the entire movie Pleasantville, which is extremely explicit.
Yeah.
Tons of naughty moments.
Yeah.
Very sexual in nature. And she's like, oh my God. Like, as these parts were happening, the girl's blushing and my teacher's trying to fast forward it, but we're like all watching the parts. And the girl's like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that part. Like over and over again. So by then, Short Circuit was like chump change. You know, no big deal.
Amazing that you guys got to watch a movie every week too.
Not every week.
It sounds like it was every week.
It was like once a
What kind
month.
of education did you get?
I don't know, but I was, I was in advanced courses though, so I was really smart. So they just let me jack around on Fridays.
Yeah, I mean you were into robots, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I was in a robots range. Come on. So I want to tell you a little bit about this movie, how it came to be.
Okay.
So the movie was written by this guy named two guys, S.S. Wilson and Brent Maddock, and this was their very first movie.
No way.
Yo, you're shocked.
No way, Ty.
What shocks you about this?
Everything.
Yeah? They just seem like they really had their shit together.
Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it's not everybody who can strike gold on the first shot, but these guys did. And a few years later, they make another future Summers Off movie. It's on our list that you're going to love. This one, I guarantee you're going to like. Tremors. And then after that, they make a movie which I know you already like, Wild Wild West. Rach, you love Wild Wild West, don't you?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Wild Wild West?
Absolutely.
Come on.
And what's your favorite scene in Wild Wild West?
Yeah, we know.
When he makes the sand boob, and then Will Smith dumps out the sand and puts water in it. He's like, that's what a real boob feels like. And then he's like feeling the guy's fake boob.
It's
That's the scene, right?
That's the one.
Yep. Same.
That's the one.
Classic.
Nailed it.
So these guys, they loved Star Wars, and they loved the scenes where there's like all these little robots just kind of around, like droids are just hanging out. And they're like, we want a movie not only with like a main character of a robot, like how do some of these robots become sentient, like C-3PO, but also like other little robots, like kind of just hanging around. Like we just want to create this robot world. And it made me think, well, what did you think not only of all the little robots that are in this movie, but if you could choose to have like a little robot, you could have your own little robot, and what would it do for you, and what size would it be? What would it look like?
Oh, what's the question? Would I have it?
Number one, what'd you think of all the little robots?
I love little robots.
You do? You love little
I
robots?
think they're so cute. I love them.
Okay.
I love them too.
So if you were going to adopt a little robot, you don't have to pick one that has the same function in this movie, but you get to create your own robot.
Yeah.
What would it look like, and what would it do?
Yeah, it would be cute.
Yeah.
It would have big eyes.
Okay.
'cause that's how you things are cute.
Yeah.
It would probably be up to my knee.
Okay.
It'd be a little tiny little thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it would do things that I didn't want to do, like household things.
Yeah.
It'd be like more of like a cleaning type of robot.
Sure.
So like a Roomba, but really cute.
Like a cuter version of Roomba.
Yeah.
That doesn't just vacuum your floor.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it mops it too.
Oh, yeah, I hate mopping.
Yeah.
I actually think they need to figure out a way to add that feature onto the Roombas.
Yeah, I wonder if
Mop
there's
it.
anything that
Mop
does
it,
that.
baby.
Yeah, steam and mop this floor too.
Yeah, and carpet clean too. Like, don't just vacuum.
Yeah.
I don't actually need you to vacuum. That's pretty easy. I want you to carpet clean.
Yeah. Let's shoot for the moon. Let's have them do all of it. All
Okay.
the floors.
Yeah. I think I would have one that cooks. It kind of floats in the air like a little helicopter.
Yep.
And it will like pick up things and cook and everything. I think that's what I want mine to do.
So it sounds like we just want a maid, but in robot form.
Yeah, but I also want to treat it with love and respect. I want to love on this robot.
Do we not treat maids with love and respect?
No, I don't. You do?
You said a word that I just want to clarify for people who maybe are not as into science fiction as you. You said sentient.
Sentient?
Yeah. Sentient.
Yep.
Yeah, and that just means
They
that
have
it's
life.
human.
Yeah.
Or that it's ability to free think.
Uh-huh.
Has free will.
Yep. It has
Okay.
come alive. It's alive.
Sentient, alive.
Johnny Five's alive. Rach,
Yep.
speaking of alive,
Mm-hmm.
explain to the listeners how Johnny Five or number 5 comes alive in this movie.
I believe I made that very clear and said very explicitly in my synopsis that the little cutie is struck by lightning.
The little
and then
cutie-
he Frankensteins to life.
Yeah, he does Frankenstein to life or
Yeah.
Jason Voorhees to life, like if you're
Sure,
talking
lots
about
of different
Friday the
ways
13th
to
6.
paint that picture. Yep.
But what they originally were going to do
Mhm.
is in the original script, what they were banding about
Mm-hmm.
was putting a human brain into the number 5, like under the different robots.
Yeah.
And then one of the brains like comes back to life, and now it's like a cyborg. It's like got a
Oh.
human brain.
Wow, God, you were getting really into the terminology. So a cyborg is a robot with a human brain in it?
Well, I don't know. I always think about it. A cyborg is like a robot and a human like combined, like robot and human parts working in conjunction with each other.
Okay.
And then I think an android
Oh my God.
is
What?
is like something that looks human,
Yes.
but it's got robot parts on the inside. But I think it has like free will. I don't know if these hold up in court.
So
but that's what I would
is
say.
Does number 5 become an android technically?
I don't know because he looks like a robot still though. He doesn't look like a
He
human.
does.
So I think he becomes a robot that becomes sentient.
So how about in the movie Ex Machina?
Yes.
What is she?
A robot who's trying to an android.
She's an android?
I don't know. Gosh, I'm lost. I don't know. I
I'm
feel like you're trying to trip
fascinated.
me up in the court of public opinion.
I'm not. This is fascinating.
I don't know. That's what I say. I
Cool.
say she's an android.
This all
But she's not
checks out.
she's not finished.
Oh,
He's working on her still.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it.
So they toyed with that idea of the human brain, and then they were like, okay, so we don't want to do the lightning bolt idea.
Mhm.
They had already thought of the lightning bolt idea. They're like, everybody does the lightning bolt idea. Frankenstein, like, we just got to stay away from the Frankenstein idea. And so they're like, okay, what about this? What if aliens came down from space and they zapped him to life?
What if?
What if?
What if?
And they
Do
decided
we love it?
that idea sucks too.
We don't love
Okay,
it.
the human brain idea is freaky. The aliens is weird. It doesn't make any sense to the rest of our movie. I think we're just gonna zap him to life with the lightning.
You just gotta get
Well,
shocked by lightning.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yep.
think it's what has to happen.
Yep.
So they hired a designer for number 5 who had worked on 2 movies from the 80s.
E.T.
No, but good guess. Really good guess.
And then later goes on to make Wall-E.
No, I really good that you brought that up.
Let's talk about
So,
that
yes,
copyright
okay.
infringement.
The creator of Wall-E, says he did not steal from this movie.
No.
But he said he did see this movie when he was younger. And he's like, I guess subconsciously I could have maybe thought about it. It's like, dude, number 5 and Wall-E are so damn similar.
Way too close. Way
It's
too
crazy.
close. Sorry to derail, but I just had to get that off my chest.
No,
It's been
for sure.
burning a hole in it.
For sure. Yep. Wall-E is a
Wall-E.
little version of number 5.
Wall-E.
So cute.
So cute.
Adorable. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
But they hired this designer from 2 earlier 80s movies.
Okay.
I'll give you one.
Mm-hmm.
Blade Runner.
Okay.
And the second one, think future-y, like Game. Think Jeff Bridges. Think Neon Suits.
Yeah. Tron.
Nice. Good
Yeah.
job. Yes. And so that person, they came in, they studied military robotics,
Okay.
like what was going on with the military at the time. So that's why they had those treads on the bottom like tanks
Sure.
and like the little cannons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also studied this. Their main inspiration was there was a robot who had just debuted in Japan who had like a big camera lens that would go in and out, and it like would read piano music, and it would play the organ, and its little
Okay.
limbs moved while the little lens eye like would read the notes. And so they studied that, and they were like, "Oh, okay. What if we take the lens idea for Johnny 5 and like some of the extremities, mixed
Okay.
in some of the tank military stuff? I think we got him.
He's adorable.
So cute." And there's a moment in this movie that is from a throwback to another movie because the director directed both Short Circuit and this movie. Do you have any guesses?
No.
You had alluded to it earlier, but before they hook up, what do?
They dance.
They-
Saturday Night Fever?
Saturday Night Fever.
What about it?
He directed Saturday Night Fever.
No.
Yes. So the director
Wow.
came from that movie to this movie. He's like, oh, well, we'll just use my old stuff. This is easy peasy.
Incredible. Wait, and then, oh no, he's not the creator. Because then does he go on to create those other movies you were talking about?
Which ones?
I don't remember now.
Blade Runner and Tron?
Nope. I just realized I didn't remember what you said from before.
Oh, so the director for this movie directed Saturday Night Fever.
Yes.
And so that should like take you to like why that dance compilation happened. By the way, it took them 2 weeks to choreograph that scene.
Choreograph.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Choreograph. It's already choreographed for you. It's in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess in the space and how they're going to do the cinematography for it.
Yeah, and
And-
robot dance.
Yep. And then they filmed it in like 2 days, Ally Sheedy and the robot. But yeah, that was like a big scene. And I thought, why was that a big scene? Feels like that should have been
How long
already
did it
given
take
to
him
you.
to make the pancakes, I wonder?
I don't know. That scene looks way harder.
I would agree.
Yeah. So the studio insisted on our 2 leads. They said, these are the folks we need for this movie. They will be perfect. Rach, your thoughts?
Do I have to say it now?
No, you don't. You go ahead
Okay.
and save it. So the director had already worked with Ally Sheedy. They were in this movie. He directed this movie called War Games. Have you ever heard of that movie?
I have, but I have no clue what it's about.
It's got Matthew Broderick in it. I think it's
Okay.
like a hacking kind of like video gamey style movie. So they had already worked together. Rach, you had already kind of alluded to Ally Sheedy being in the Breakfast Club. Do you know anything else about Ally Sheedy? Before I kind of run down some facts about her.
Well, she was also in St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah.
St. Elmo's Fire!
And then she is with our teen icons from the 80s.
She's in the Brat Pack.
She's a Brat Packer.
Brat Packer.
Yes. So Sheedy plays this character, Stephanie. Stephanie Speck, a year after she did St. Elmo's Fire.
Oh, wow.
So we're just a year removed
So
from that movie.
she was flying high. She was more or less the romantic lead in that movie, and
Yeah.
then felt that she could write her check to anywhere she wanted.
And she said, "Ride it to Short Circuit, baby. I'm going to go right to the top." Fun facts with her. She was the first female to play the character of Hedwig on Broadway.
What?
She played Hedwig.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
as a female performer.
Huh.
And it was not well received.
I would
People
imagine.
did not like it.
Why did they do that?
I don't know,
Hedwig-
because it's like non-gender specific in that way, especially back then. I think people thought, oh, it could be a man or it could be a woman.
I don't think so. No, I think there's specific things about that in there.
Well, your anger and perturbedness
Very
rubbed
I'm very
off on everybody
perturbed.
else. They also were perturbed by
We
it.
should be mad about that. That's not okay.
But she came out and said that Christian Slater and James Franco both sexually abused her.
Oh, geez.
So those two suck.
Yeah,
And we should hate them from here on out.
I knew the one, but yeah, now the other.
Yeah.
Sure.
And she was actually married to Angela Lansbury's nephew.
Angela Lansbury's nephew?
Yeah. How crazy is that?
That's wild.
Those are some fun
And
facts.
Angela Lansbury?
Yeah, was her aunt-in-law, which is very cool. And then Rach, who plays our male lead?
Ah, yes. Throwback to just last week, if you'll remember, which I know you will. Or wait, no.
No, it was 3 weeks
3
ago
weeks
now.
ago.
Yep.
Gosh, it's
Yeah,
been-
for the listeners,
it's
they're like,
been
it
a
wasn't
summer.
last week.
You're right. 3 weeks ago to It Takes Two, discount Billy Crystal,
He strikes again.
also known as Steve Gutenberg.
Oh, you look kind of shook up.
Yeah, it's really true. Spontaneous emotional response.
I am alive, yes?
Steve Gutenberg, nice job, Rach.
Steve Gutenberg.
Yes, Steve Gutenberg makes a return appearance in this movie, making him in the lead. I can't remember who our other person was for Is This Their Season?
Well, I mean,
most
it's
appearances.
complicated because he's got two,
Mm-hmm.
but then so does Kimmy's dad.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
He also has two.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little tricky.
It's just a little wild. Oh, and then also, just from last week with Yaya Sisterhood, we had Robert the Bruce.
Yeah, Robert
So
the Bruce
he
has been
also
in
has
two.
two. So it's
There's a lot of people with two right now.
It does take two, doesn't it?
Ah, yes. So Steve Gutenberg, he was the last movie that he was tied to was Police Academy, and he's in like 4 of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've ever seen the Police Academy movies.
I've not, but I know he's definitely pining for number 8.
Oh, I'm sure. Actually, they're in pre-pro for another one, and he's going to be in it.
This is what I hear.
Oh, you already knew
Did
that?
you know that I did research on Steve Gutenberg as well? Come on, you're gonna quote Steve Gutenberg to me?
Steve Gutenberg Pro over here. So his character's name is. Do you have a guess?
Yeah, give me a minute.
He's not.
It's not Stephanie.
He's not Einstein.
He's
not Isaac. He's.
Newton.
Yep. Good job.
His name is Newton.
Newton Crosby, or they call him Newt.
Nailed
And
it.
he's actually tied with Gene Hackman during this era from 84 to 88 for having the most movies in Hollywood. He just kills it. Discount Billy Crystal is all over the place, and it's helped by Police Academy coming out with like annual releases. But still, he's in a ton of shit around this time. He's just raking it in.
Did Police Academy come out like every year?
I think it was very short succession, like for the first few
So
movies.
this was like our parents' Harry Potter.
Yeah, I guess
It's like
so.
you look forward to it every year.
I
Like
would-
it's coming out. It's
It was
coming.
more like when we were kids. Remember a Land Before Time movie came out every year?
Oh.
It's more like that, I think.
You think so?
Not like Harry Potter. I think that's way too much credit. And those had a few years in between them. How dare you besmirch the good name of Harry Potter?
just want to clarify how big of a star was he?
So kind of interesting, the guy who played Schroeder, the bad guy who's like a military dude,
Mm-hmm.
his name is G.W. Bailey. He's in Police Academy with Steve Gutenberg. He plays the lieutenant.
Well, how about
So
that?
they're already pals. They're already palling around in the first Police Academy, and then they're palling around after this movie and more, just hanging out. But Rach, this is the part of the format I've been most excited for.
Oh, okay.
What I'm about to tell you is literally, Stephanie, going to blow your mind. Are you ready?
You are hyping this up,
Oh.
and I just hope you can deliver.
Oh, let me tell you, I know I'm going to deliver. Are you sitting down?
Yes.
I know you are.
I am.
I'm sitting right across from
You know
you.
I'm sitting.
Listeners, you might need to sit down as well. Rach, do you know who played Ben, the Indian doctor, who's like kind of the sidekick character to Steve Guttenberg?
As we're fond of saying in my country, marketplace make dull home for rodents.
Where are you from, anyway?
Bakersfield originally.
No, I mean your ancestors.
Oh, damn. Pittsburgh.
Do I know who played that?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a person, and I'm supposed to know who that person was.
Did he look familiar to you or anything?
Nope, he did not.
Okay.
He did not look familiar to me at first glance.
Uh-huh.
Second glance, neither.
Okay. What if I told you, you know this person? You know this person very well. Not like know them, but like you have seen them in several things lately.
Lately?
Does that help you at all?
As in several things lately this season?
You have seen him in the season.
Who is he? Okay.
Okay.
Concerning question.
Yeah.
Was this person maybe in this movie? Was this person doing blackface?
Brown face.
Brown face? I don't know. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, Rach.
Oh no. You're blowing my mind.
They were doing brown face.
Oh my gosh. Oh, who could it be?
You
Who
saw
would've
this
done
person.
that?
Not only in your daily life where you've been watching this person every few nights in an episodic form, but you saw this person in Super Mario Brothers.
Wait, what?
This person was in Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I got that. And then you said in my daily life?
Yeah. You've been watching a show lately.
Is someone in Succession?
Yes.
Who's also in Super Mario Brothers. I
Yes.
should remember who this is. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yes, I knew it.
It's his season.
It's his season.
Only because I'm watching him in Succession separately. I don't know his name.
Fisher Stevens.
Oh my God.
Fisher Stevens, who played Iggy in Super Mario Brothers, one of our two goofy Koopa cousins, and who plays Hugo in Succession, who's in charge of like a lot of the publicity, was Ben in Short Circuit.
Oh my God.
And you want to know how crazy this was? While I was researching Rach, I was in my office at work. Don't tell anybody at work that I was doing this during work. But
During lunch.
I was literally floored. I think out loud I was like, no way. As I remembered this character, because this character's in number 2 in Short Circuit 2. He's like actually the main guy in Short Circuit 2.
What?
Yeah, there's a second one, by the
We
way.
bring him back?
Yeah, yep.
In brown face?
And him in brown face is back.
Jesus.
But he's like wearing a wig, and they brown face him up. And I remembered the character, but thought like, I don't know who that guy is. He's probably just an Indian actor that they brought in. That's
Yeah.
like a Bollywood guy or something like that.
First I've seen in an 80s film.
Yep.
Thought that was kind of cool,
Uh-huh.
actually.
Yep.
Oh, no.
It was a brown face.
Oh,
And
no.
you want to know what's really crazy? Is he tricked almost all of Hollywood. Yeah. They thought he was this other Bollywood actor that looks similar to what he looked like in this movie. And so everybody was like, oh, you grabbed so-and-so from Bollywood. And then it kind of started to trickle out, even like in the Indian film scene. They're like, oh, good job on Short Circuit for using so-and-so. And thank you for using somebody from our culture. And then it started to trickle out that it was actually Stephen Fisher. And everybody exploded in rage.
Yeah. So
Even-
it
well,
was met with backlash at this time?
In Bollywood, yes.
Oh, there first.
Here,
It took us like
people
20 years to figure that out.
people were like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if that's a good thing. But here's the tricky part. So the character,
Yep.
Stephen Fisher was originally cast, or Fisher Stevens, sorry. Fisher Stevens was originally cast, and the character wasn't even supposed to be Indian. He was just like a sidekick character.
Sure.
Then they rewrote him to become Indian.
Okay.
And so then they said, Fisher Stevens, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go. They brought in this other guy who was from the TV show Perfect Strangers. He played, I don't know if you remember that show from the 80s. I never watched it.
Yeah.
He's like a foreign guy who's like Greek. So they brought in this character actor who's also white to play this character. And then he was like, I got this Perfect Strangers TV show, sitcom offer. I'm going to go take that instead. So he dropped out of the project. And then they went back to Fisher Stevens and said like, hey, do you want it? And Fisher was like, yeah, I can do this. And so he went to India. He studied Buddhism, studied Hindi.
Shut up.
He learned a lot of the
No.
language.
No.
And he got into like yoga and stuff. He like tried to immerse himself in the culture for a long time,
Oh
and then
my
came
God.
back And he was like, yeah, I think I did all the things you were supposed to do. He goes, and nowadays people would never accept it, but I think at the time, like he almost like defends it. He's like, I don't think it was that hard of that big of a deal. I think I did a pretty good job.
Well, I mean, whoa. Yeah. Wow.
I knew you were going to be shocked. And while you decompress, I just want to leave you with this from the Mario Brothers episode.
Yeah.
Him and John Leguizamo, Iggy and Luigi, they became super close buds after this. And he actually directs John Leguizamo's one-man show later on. And so they continue to be tight. So John Leguizamo didn't have a problem with it.
Well, he can speak on behalf of people who are from India, obviously,
people who are
because he
by
has
far.
anything to do with that.
Jesus.
Wow. I've never been so shocked into just silence almost.
Yeah.
I just don't even know where
There-
to go with that.
there's
That's
a
so
cou-
wild to
There's
me.
a couple times during it that I like could see it, and I was like, oh, I hope Rach doesn't go, you know what he kind of reminds me of? Kind of reminds me of the guy from Succession.
Not even close.
And
Not even close.
there's a couple times I was like, oh, is she going to get anything? Nope, she didn't. Okay, this is going to be a bomb.
Now I'm going to go back and look at pictures, maybe you bought it, right? You had to buy this film.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
You couldn't watch it. Listeners, sorry, you're going to have to buy this film if you want to
Well,
watch it.
if you have Vudu, you can get it for $4. I paid an extra $1 so I could just use my Prime account because it's already hooked up and just have it forever. And that's what I think you should do as well.
Have it forever.
You won't regret just owning for $5 Short Circuit. And then you can pass it on to your kids and your kids' kids and your kids' kids' kids. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is the gift that keeps on giving.
Rach, you mentioned something when we see Ally Sheedy's house for the first time.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said it kind of looks like the Goonies house.
Oh, that's very surprising
Is it?
because this was shot in Astoria, Oregon, in a location that was so close
Uh-huh.
to the Goonies house.
Yeah.
It was really, really close.
It
Close
looked like it
quarters
was
to
up on a hill. You look over, see the water.
Mhm.
And this one you saw like a big bridge. So I knew it wasn't quite that, but it looked an awful lot like that set.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Yep. How much do you think it cost to make Johnny Five and all his brothers?
Man, I'm gonna go on the higher end just because I don't know how they would have done the pieces without. Like I didn't see. I mean, I'm sure there's some tricks in there, but they moved very well. I thought, and
Yeah.
had a lot of moving parts to them. So I'm imagining even just the filming of that was crazy. I'm gonna say, okay, five of those.
Yep. Actually, well, I'll tell you this. Johnny Five has 4 brothers. He's the 5th. He's the youngest. He's the baby of the family.
Oh, he's a baby.
But then they made a ton of Johnny Fives.
Okay. I am
think
going to
10.
go out on a limb and say each of those costs $50K.
Okay. So then total then 500,000?
Yes. No.
What percentage of the budget do you think it is?
No, that would be 10 of those. Half of that.
Oh, you think only half of that?
Well, because never mind.
Oh, 250,000.
Yeah,
You're saying
50K
50K for
five
each
of
brother.
them is not.
Well, no, but then I said that they made like 10 Johnny Fives.
Oh, they
though.
made 10 of them.
Yeah,
Yes. Then
yep.
yes, your math is correct.
Oh, okay.
I was just thinking of the 5 that were in the film.
Oh, gotcha.
But you did tell me that there were 10. Sorry.
No, that's
I
okay.
just was trying to
Yeah, it's tricky.
call you out like, hey, that's not right math.
Good job, calculus. They cost $1.4 million to make all the Johnny Fives and all the brothers. And that was 10% of the budget just on Johnny Five creation.
Incredible. So when they talk about them being like $1 million, they mean it. Those things cost like $1 million.
Well, yeah, collectively.
Well, yeah, we don't know that.
You know, your 50,000 is actually pretty fair because I'm actually in my format I was off. It's 15 Johnny Fives, and then you have the 4 brothers, so you have 19. Times that by 50,000. You're talking about 950,000, and you said like $1 million, and so you're really close. Nice job, Rach. Very impressive.
Yep.
You're very smart. Okay, listen to this story though. There's 15 Johnny Fives, right? Mm-hmm. The 5th Johnny Five that they make, they actually labeled them. Like they say, like, hey, charge up number 4. We're gonna use him on set tomorrow. Number 6 we're gonna use today for the cooking scene, and then number 7's gonna do some of the driving stuff. So they would like organize their sets based on the numbers.
Yeah, kind of like when you have dogs in a movie, you have to have like 20 dogs to all play
Sure.
the one dog because
Yep.
they all are like, this is the dog who jumps out of the car, and this is the dog who licks people's faces.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, Johnny Five, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing. So there's 15 Johnny Fives. The 5th model
Yeah.
Almost blows up. It starts on fire. They save it.
Mm-hmm.
They rewire it.
Uh-huh.
They make some corrections and stuff to the 5th Johnny 5.
Go on.
And it becomes the best model. They all love this model more than all the others. It works tremendously.
Uh-huh.
And it comes alive.
Alive, Stephanie. Number 5 alive.
It comes alive.
Yeah, it does.
And it's
alive.
alive.
Yeah, you can see it. And the story organ is still wandering around. It's like, oh, hey, 5. Hey, number 5.
Amazing. Well, he goes by Johnny now.
Yeah, he goes by Johnny. Yeah.
Hey, Johnny.
No, but it was just the best model. They couldn't believe like how it almost died, and then they save it, and then it's their favorite. It's the best one. No malfunctions, no problems after that.
1 in 19 shot. Ty, what are those odds?
What?
What would that be?
I don't. You
What's that
1 in
math?
19?
Yeah.
I can tell you 1 in 20. That's 5% chance.
No, I want to know 19.
Well, 4.5 maybe.
Way to go.
Way to go. Very impressive stuff. So there was one scene though that took the lives of 2 Johnny 5s.
Oh.
And that was the scene when he goes off of a bridge and he hits a parachute.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
he kind of floats down to like a new location
Yep.
in Astoria.
Mhm.
That, unfortunately, 2 Johnny 5s had to be sacrificed for that take.
Oh, they couldn't get their parachutes open in time. Poor little guys.
I don't think there were any parachutes, babe. I think that
Oh,
they
they
just
just
went
threw
off the
'em?
bridge. I think
Oh.
they said they disintegrated. There was like nothing left of them when
Oh,
they hit the ground.
jeez.
So, yeah, 2 Johnny 5s were sacrificed for the
Wow.
making of this film.
Oh.
Do you think people would have a problem with that? Kind of like animals? Do you think there's anybody out there that would be like, I think it's bullshit that you sacrifice these robots' lives for your film? What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it is hard because we do see robots more and more, especially we start to put our emotions on them a lot of times, even though they don't have them yet. But yeah, no, you don't have a case to stand on to be offended. In fact, you're just kind of weird if you break that apart.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I would probably feel that way. Like, oh, like it's like when a toy breaks. You're like,
Uh-huh.
oh, the toy. Like,
Yeah, that's sad.
You insert emotions on it. It's like the Toy Story syndrome. You think like, oh, now every time I give a toy away or this toy breaks, like I literally hurt that toy.
Yeah.
And that's a really hard world to live in.
It was like when our Mitsubishi Outlander, we sold it for parts. They're just going to take it to an auction house, I think. And then if it didn't get bought, they're just going to scrap it. And you're like saying goodbye to this thing that you've gone through so many adventures with. And you're like, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, there were things wrong with it, but it's just like, it was time for you to part with it.
Yeah.
And so you're like, this is sad.
Yeah, you have an emotional attachment to things
Yeah.
like that. But no, I can't say that, oh, you were not humane to my car. It's like, no, there's nothing to stand on, but I do feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel
Makes you
that.
sad.
Mm.
It makes you sad. You know all the little bebops and functions and stuff that Johnny 5 had, like eyebrows,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
things like that. They tried to be very intentional with those little flourishes and to say, like, does this serve a purpose?
Sure.
Because if it's just to make him look more human, it's not worth it.
Sure.
Like, we need stuff that actually functions right. So those eyebrows were actually a late addition because he had those lens eyes, and those lens eyes will refract and contract. Am I saying that right? They'll do, or maybe that's the same thing, but they'll have movement depending on how much light is hitting those sensors. And so when they didn't have those eyebrows, he always looked very sleepy. He looked like a sleepy little robot. And so they're like, oh, I want his eyes to be more open. And so they gave him those little eyebrows.
Oh,
and then when they shift up, it allows more light to hit the sensor, and then his eyes will refract and move. It was like all part of the function.
Wow. So maybe you don't know this, but was that happening independent of the filmmakers, or the filmmakers are like saying like, okay, eyebrows up here, eyebrows down here?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and I have it on here. So there were 12 people who controlled Johnny 5 at all times.
Wow.
12 puppeteers / programmers / controller guys. And some of them were on like remote controls. Some of them were on like kind of wiry contraptions to make arms and stuff move.
Okay.
There were like all kinds of different stuff. And Johnny was actually really weak and slow. And so they had to speed up a ton of his shots.
Oh.
Just
okay.
because, and you could kind of see it in a few of them.
Sure.
But otherwise he was kind of slow and meandering. 'Cause he's just a big old robot.
Take it slow. Take it slow.
So they had 3, or some of my sources said 5 different heads that they put on Johnny Five, depending on like what his emotions were and what functions they wanted him to do.
Sure.
Can you think of some of the things that they would want these different heads to be able to do?
Well, he's got an angry head where he's got like the red eyes.
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
He's got that head.
Mm-hmm. You said his brothers all look like they're all pissed off.
Yeah.
With furrowed
They all have the
brows.
furrowed brows and the scrunched faces.
Yep.
So you've got that, maybe a curious face, maybe a scared face.
Okay.
A neutral / happy face.
There was a lot of stuff to do with the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So they had one where the light bulbs would turn on, and like when she first sees him and he looks like an alien when he's in Ally Sheedy's truck, then they have that face.
Yep.
So it kind of looks a little spooky, a little ghosty. And then they had one where that comes out to like a scope. So like when he's looking at the grasshopper, he's got a moment where he's like looking at a grasshopper, or he's looking at a butterfly in one scene, and his eyeballs like protrude out. They like come out. That's a different head too.
Okay.
Just if you want any of the eyes bulging stuff, you got to swap heads.
That's the head.
Swap different heads. But they all had one major puppeteer. And that guy, they said just for a placeholder, because they were going to hire an actor, they're like, hey, do all the voice acting. Just you take all the voice acting for now, just so actors have somebody that they're reading with, and you're controlling him. You're the main puppeteer. You're coordinating this whole effort with like 11 other guys. And you just voice him while you're doing it. And so he was like, okay. And he had never acted before in his life. And he was like, okay, yeah, what if something like this? And he's like kind of developing the voice and everything.
What?
And they love it. And
He
they
did
find
the robot voice?
he did the robot voice. And they say like, we're not going to hire an actor for this because you killed it. This is super good. And it was very natural. And we don't have to like communicate to an actor like, here's what we were going for in the moment. You were right here in the moment. You know what was happening.
Yeah.
And it was like they got to have an actor on set with
Yeah,
them.
that would be. You'd think that would make the other two jobs of the fellow actors easier. Having to act opposite a robot who was talking to you. They didn't edit his voice at all. Like he was able to make it sound
I think
that robotic.
the majority of it was done on set. And that was one thing they also liked, is because it sounded so natural being on location rather than having to go into a studio afterwards and re-record everything.
Sure. Yeah, you had the background going in there too.
His name is Tim Blaney, and he does other puppeteering and other voice stuff as well.
Okay.
He was a character in Men in Black. Have any guesses?
He's the little alien guy that walks around and hops on people's shoulders like, hey, come on, hey, get coffee.
No, the coffee
guys.
alien guys. No, good guess though. No, he's actually the pug.
Oh.
He's Frank the pug.
Frank the
That's
Pug.
him.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
been a while, but yes, I do recall a dog being an alien.
Yep. That's him. For this movie, they really didn't use any green screen. They did all practical effects.
Yeah?
That was the whole plan.
Okay.
And so it was all fireworks, things exploding through practical.
I mean, there were tanks, there were helicopters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kudos.
A lot of big set pieces in this movie.
A lot of explosions.
Tons of explosions.
Yeah. Impressive.
Yeah. Were you really impressed?
Very much so.
I know you love explosions.
Because I love Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
And that was the movie that I forgot that I was trying to say earlier. When
Oh,
we're talking about the guy, but those were the creators, not necessarily
yeah,
the
those are the
director.
writers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
But you can see their brilliance transcends past this movie and into Wild Wild West.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Do you know the Three Stooges scene?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain the Three Stooges scene for our listeners?
Sure. So number 5 has been watching Three Stooges and has that in his
He
rep.
loves it.
He's a little bit like Bumblebee. I think Bumblebee from the Transformers steals a little bit of this, or I guess they maybe came out at the same time. But you know how Bumblebee only talks in things that they've seen off of TV or the radio.
Yep.
Anyway, so we've got that going on, and somehow number 5, once he captures 3 of his brothers, he rewires them, and then they end up performing like a Three Stooges scene.
Yeah.
Which is very good.
You know what I just... it's very good.
Very good.
Very impressive stuff. And that Three Stooges scene, that took 18 puppeteers on each robot.
Oh my
That
gosh.
was by far the hardest scene that they ever shot. They said it was an absolute nightmare. Just, I mean, think about it. Like, that's 54 dudes just like running around being like, oh, okay, yeah, then I'm going to move his hand up and then you're going to punch the middle
Yeah.
one.
Whoop,
And,
whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah.
Whoa.
yeah, just crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I just realized, though? So he's got 4 brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And those were 3 of them.
Yeah.
What happened to the 4th one? The 4th one, what the main guy takes with him to go get number 5.
That's true.
And then we never see that robot ever again. That one just
Yeah.
disappears.
Yeah.
Are you bothered by
Because
that?
there are only 3 Stooges and there's not 4 of
Yeah.
them. That's a good point. You bring up a good point.
I thought it was him who exploded at the end. You want
Did you cry when you were a little kid? When there's like a kind of a false ending
Oh.
there and you think that number 5 dies?
if I hadn't remembered there's a short circuit 2, I was tricked for like a split second, and then it hit me. I was like, oh yeah, there's short circuit 2. But when he exploded, I was like, oh shit. I forgot they blow him up. Or do they take all the parts and like find out that he's still like what's his name puts him back together, Newt, and then he's like, oh, I'm alive again, Stephanie, and but then I was like, oh yeah, they're short circuit too, so he survives this somehow.
I was thrown for a loop. I thought, oh wow, dark.
Did you like that
Dark
ending?
twist, you guys. Yeah, I wanted him to stay dead. I wanted the stakes to stay high.
Yeah, you want it to be about how the American culture just snuffs out the human spirit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the message of this movie is.
Yeah, loud and
Snuff
clear.
it out. How'd you feel about the romance?
Who's?
You tell me.
I mean, I am kidding a little bit when I talk about the human robot romance. I don't think they did all that much weirdness there.
Oh, you think they just kind of fooled around a little bit? They didn't go all the way?
No, I
Is that what
mean
you're
like
saying?
the movie. I think like it doesn't. I don't think it went too far as teasing that a little bit.
Beautiful Stephanie.
What I'll tell you is it's way less than Howard the Duck. If you ever watch Howard the Duck, things get really, really weird.
But is Howard the Duck a duck or is he a robot?
He's a duck.
Or is he a cyborg?
He's a duck who like talks
Yeah.
and who like almost hooks up with the main gal.
Yeah.
In fact, you could argue that he did hook up with her.
But he's a duck.
He's a duck.
In a world with ducks?
He
that
came
talk?
from a world with ducks, but
he's
now
an
he's in a
alien.
human world.
So he's an alien.
He's an alien.
Okay. That's a little bit different. Though,
Oh, you
because-
feel different?
Well, that's a living organism. And I guess number 5 is alive now, but
Yeah.
number 5,
He's alive.
I guess. When does it get weird?
We're gonna watch Howard the Duck, and then you tell me. You tell me if it crosses any lines.
I'd rather not.
So the original script had the relationship between Ally and number 5 much less playful.
I hope you bought enough for everybody. Give me one too, Steph. Ooh, right on the sensor.
It was more serious.
Serious
And
in what way?
listen to this. She actually fell for the robot. There was no Newt dynamic between the two, like where you saw like a budding romance. That didn't exist in the original screening. It was just her and Johnny. And at the end of the film, she kissed Johnny and she hugged him and he held her in his arms and it was like they were in Casablanca.
Oh, no.
And
Oh,
that
weird.
was like the final moments. And when they showed it to test audiences, they not only booed, they hissed. Like an 1800s audience watching Shakespeare done by an American in Britain. They hissed at him.
Hiss at him. I've never hissed. I've never hissed at anybody in my life.
Yeah.
I booed, but I've never hissed.
Well, you need to start hissing. You booed somebody in real life?
I mean, I have booed before, not somebody, but you know, like that's a sound that one makes, like boo,
Yeah.
boo. But do you ever think to hiss when you're trying to boo somebody?
Have you ever seen a performance and you've wanted to boo the performer or the performance?
Yes.
I have too. I have too. I thought, I'm not even going to stand and clap. This doesn't deserve it. And if I could, I would boo right now.
Oh,
I've
that's so mean.
I've had performances that way. But I know, then you think of the human element and you're like, well, they're trying. And you're like, yeah, but they should try harder.
Oh, it's that's wild. And I'm really glad that they decided not to go that route
Yeah.
because that's a bit weird. Although I will say, I think her character is a bit of a weirdo because
She is a weirdo.
which is why this works in some ways. the plausibility of her being like, okay, robot, now I'm taking care of you. Because she has a house that is full of animals. And so there's something about that trait that the writers thought was very important. Like, oh, she takes these people in. She believes in aliens. She's, very, like, caring, maybe to the extent of, like, her house probably smells so bad.
Oh, for sure. You can just tell.
What do you think it smells like?
Well, I think it smells like kind of like old person.
Or feces.
Yeah, because there's all these animals. And, like, we're talking about not just a ton of cats. Oh, she has cats. We're talking about ferrets
I bet
and raccoons.
Stunk a little bit.
And
don't you think?
What?
Don't you think the set stunk a little bit?
Well, I don't think those animals were probably on set the whole time.
No, but, like, there was a skunk and a ferret.
Yeah.
And
She has a skunk in her apartment?
there was a skunk. She fed it spaghetti sauce in one part.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
And then
missed
there
that.
were like 8 cats.
Yeah, and a couple of really cute little kittens. They kept getting really close to the fire. Did you notice that? She's cooking on the stove, and she's got a gas fire or oven. And there's this little kitten that just keeps going right towards the flame.
That's probably fun.
And then she walks away, and I'm like, and they kind of like pan over a little bit. I was like, some like PA production assistants like running up and be like, get that kitten out of there. He's going right for that flame again. But it did give her a lot of natural things to do because she had all these animals to play with on set.
Yeah.
Ally said, well, I want to ask you, I want to go back to the relationship thing.
Sorry, yes.
How'd you feel about her with Newt? Because they went back and refilmed all that stuff. They added that romance in after the audiences so terribly reacted to the number 5 and her.
Yeah, I think that was a wise pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Human on human. That was probably a good idea. What did I think about it?
Yep.
Like the plausibility. They're supposed to be like these 2 little weirdos who find each other. He's supposed to be this like really nerdy guy who doesn't know how to talk to girls, even though it's like, come on, Steve Guttenberg. Like, who are you kidding? I just, again, remembered who his sidekick was and couldn't help but like just,
Oh, yeah.
still shocked. Shocked and
Absolutely.
awed by that.
This is going to reverberate with you for a while.
Yeah, I think I just need to sit with this for a bit.
Oh, did you like how their hair was the same?
I totally wrote that.
You did?
That is one of my notes. I will read you it exactly. I said, same hair.
I loved how you're like, I got to pull this up.
What did I say? Well,
You've got to hear this.
I had something really funny. I said, same hair.
But they did. They did have the same hair.
same
it was
hair.
crazy. They were standing right next to each other, and I was like, what is this weird world that we live in where you guys have the same exact hair?
Yeah, and the hair being like short and permy and curly and like his is like a little bit longer in the back, so like a little bit mullety. But
Yep.
yeah, amazing.
Really crazy.
So fun, the 2 of them together.
Do you think we should have the same hair?
Who's going which way?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't think you could grow your hair as long as me.
Oh, you don't think so? I think
No.
I could.
I don't think
And
so.
Exhibit A, when I was 4. I had long
You
hair.
think so, huh?
Yeah. I think I could have long, luscious locks.
Well, I think I could buzz my head as well.
Oh, yeah? You think
Yeah,
so,
I
huh?
think I could.
Well, hey, how about this? How about we swap?
Should we swap?
Yeah. I'll grow my hair out long just in the back,
Mm-hmm.
and then you buzz it.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, get kind of a...
And then we'll start our tag team wrestling.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Love it.
Very cool. The guy who plays Dr. Marner, he's like the main doctor who like started the company.
Yep.
And like, kind of like
Kind of a bad guy.
bad
but kind
guy,
of like
but-
an in-betweener.
Yeah, for sure. He definitely toes the line. He said that this script was super charming when he first got it. He said it was a really well-constructed script. He thought it was an instant hit. That's why he signed on. He had like done Shakespeare and done quite a bit of stuff back in the day.
Okay.
And then he gets on set and they start doing rewrites. And then he says, this is really mean. He says Ally Sheedy and Steve Guttenberg ruined the movie. He says that they were both narcissistic and there was sweetness embedded in the script. And instead of sweetness, they took it out and they added their own little gags because they thought they were funnier than the script. And by doing that, they ruined all the sweetness and they just dumbed it all down for everybody. So he says they showcase themselves rather than the script.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Harsh, like, and direct.
I
in your
know.
feedback, like to call out a fellow actor. Usually, you just
Yep.
say things like, "I didn't have fun on set. I didn't like it." You can ask people about, like usually
Yep.
people are a bit more tight-lipped about things
No,
like that.
he's like, I'm coming for you.
But I will say, I mean, was not impressed with either of them. I thought they were both awful.
Oh, awful.
They were awful.
Yeah.
They've never been worse.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Steve.
Both.
Newt was way worse than It Takes Two.
No,
Way worse.
No?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think so.
Well, I do.
He
I
was
think he
very
was
bad. He was-
so bad in that movie. That's one of the worst performances I've seen in a long time.
He was
couldn't even
like-
deliver a line in that
He
movie.
was like at like a 3, and then now he's like at a 1.
No,
It's
he
bad,
was better than
it's
that.
bad and it's bad.
He was better than that. He was a 1 before, now he's a 4.
4.
He's below
You're
average.
Gonna say he's a 4.
Yeah, I would say he's below average. He had a couple
No.
like funny little quips. He could deliver
Just because you
a line
say a
in this
line
movie.
that's funny doesn't make you good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
You can say a line that's written funny, but that doesn't mean you're funny and that you're good either.
There's a priest, a minister, and a rabbi. They're out playing golf, and they're trying to decide how much to give to charity. So the priest says, well, we'll draw a circle on the ground, we'll throw the money way up in the air, and whatever lands inside the circle, we give to charity. The minister says, no, we'll draw a circle on the ground, we'll throw the money way up in the air, and whatever lands outside the circle, that's what we give to charity. The rabbi says, no, we'll throw the money way up in the air, and whatever God wants, he keeps.
Oh, I get it.
He's bad. He's bad. But I will say that the guy who's critiquing them, I thought he was also really wretched.
Yeah,
So
he
I
wasn't
think,
that-
like,
he was
what
not
do you
good
mean, You
either.
do Shakespeare? Well, like I'll be honest, buddy, I didn't see any of that.
McCready said that part of her, or not McCready, gosh, I'm getting all these guys mixed up. Ally said that part of her problem was she treated Johnny Five like a colleague and like gave the robot a lot of respect. But one of the things that happened was she got so exhausted not having an acting partner for a lot of those scenes and just having somebody like reading the lines off stage and then having this robot that she's working with that's being puppeteered by 12 guys
Okay.
that she just felt like no connection and nothing coming from her robot partner. And so she said she felt like she was forcing it a lot of the times because she had nobody to bounce off of. And then by forcing it, she just got exhausted. And so it just drained her incredibly on the set.
Yeah, I think she's very self-aware. And I was physically drained watching it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, yes.
So this film was released about a year before we were born. It was released on May 9th, 1986, and it cost $15 million to make. It makes $5 million on opening weekend, and it makes $40 million overall. It debuts at number 1.
Hell yeah, it does.
It's beating a movie called JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling. And that kind of brings up a question.
Movies? What is that?
Rage,
Yeah.
what's JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling about? I haven't done this to you for a while. Let's hit you. Let's hit you with one.
Okay, JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling. It's a foreign film for starters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Foreign from where?
Israel.
Israel. Okay.
And I mean that's pretty self-explanatory, I would say.
Yeah?
Yep.
Who's JoJo? JoJo a guy or a girl?
Guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Trying to achieve the dance dream, or like what's he doing? Breaking in Hollywood? Or...
Yeah, he wants to be one of those Hasidic Jewish dancers who dances with a bottle on their head. Have you
Oh.
seen Fiddler on the
I
Roof?
have seen Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's he is the creator of that dance.
Oh.
And,
So this is a period piece.
it's a period piece. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
did I not say that?
No, you
Yeah,
neglected to
it
mention
is a
that.
period piece. It's a foreign film. Takes place in Israel. Period piece.
Takes place in Israel or is an Israeli foreign film?
Yes, and so both can be true. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fascinating.
Yeah. It's a real thinker.
The week after that, Short Circuit drops to number 2 because this Summer's Off favorite came out the next week.
What year is this?
86. Guess?
Lethal Weapon.
Nope. Dun
Right?
Yep.
Nice singing, the guy.
Nice singing.
Nice singing. But you went with not my favorite song. Could you sing my favorite song from that now?
Oh gosh, what's the romantic song?
Nope, not that one.
Oh, what is that
That's
one,
not the
though?
right one either.
Oh, you're thinking Danger Zone.
Nope.
No?
I want you to sing my
Oh,
favorite
yes,
song.
yes. Playing with the boys.
There it is. That's what I want.
Woo!
That's what I wanted.
Oh, okay, very good. I can't believe that took me so long to figure out.
Not that one.
Take My Breath Away is the romantic song I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
of. Here's some taglines for this movie. Something wonderful has happened. Number 5 is alive.
You have to say it that way.
Yes.
You couldn't have just read it.
No, and in fact, I'm going to have to edit that
Now you
because
have
it
to
definitely...
edit all of that
definitely
because you
peaked.
blasted the mic. I hope it was worth it.
All right, here's number 2.
Okay.
Life is not a malfunction.
I even said that straight.
What do you think? What's your favorite?
What do I think?
Yeah, what's your favorite tag?
I like number 1. Number 1's better.
Number 5 is alive.
Obviously, they say it like 8 times, and that's all you ever
But
say about this
They
movie.
say life is not a malfunction, too. Ally Sheedy says it.
Yeah, but
She
like,
says it to Newt. He goes, it's just a malfunction. She goes, life is not a malfunction.
Whoa. Hey, are we getting like political with this? Is this like
What do
a
you mean?
weird like movie that actually has some like political undertones?
Kind of like
about
Mario
it?
Brothers.
Yeah.
Was the fascists versus the commies?
Yeah, but this is about like anti-abortion groups.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
No, I'm
Oh
just
my
kidding.
gosh.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Life is not a malfunction.
That,
Put that
that
on
does
one of
seem like
those
something that they would
billboards.
really be like, yeah, that's ours now. We take that.
Oh, I love that.
Just like Top Gun, the Navy was like, yeah, we want them.
That's the
Danger
one.
Zone, that's our song now.
That's our song. That's our theme song.
Rotten Tomatoes score.
Mm.
Do you have a guess?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah, what's your guess?
I'm going to say, because of the stunts and because of just the sheer impressiveness of number 5,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that they gave it like in the 40s.
Okay. 61%.
Good
Fresh.
Lord.
Audience score.
Ow!
Audience score?
It's probably the same.
Nope, it's higher. 67%.
What is wrong with
Two-thirds of
people?
people. 2/3 of people say this movie is good.
In 1986.
Well, they didn't have Rotten Tomatoes back then. That's now.
How do you know?
Yeah, good point. I guess I can't prove that. Here's your critics' consensus.
How?
Amiable and good-natured, but also shallow and predictable. Short Circuit is hardly as deep or emotionally resonant as E.T., though Johnny Five makes for a charming robot protagonist. Here's what some of the other critics said.
Okay.
Variety said, it's hip and it's sexless, which I don't know what that means. And I would say it's actually kind of it's full of sex and some. There were
that
like
mean?
more than one boner jokes, and
Yeah.
Ally Sheedy was in a tub, and he comes in and sees her naked. So I don't know what they mean by sexless, but here it is: hip and sexless with some terrific dialogue.
Stop.
That was Variety.
Stop,
And then
Variety.
here's New York Times. They compared it to a Disney movie, and then they said, "quote It's well acted."
No.
Yep, that
Who
was
said that?
New
Who
York
said that?
Times.
No.
The New York Times.
Nope.
Literally the whole paper. The whole paper got together. They said, "Hey, what do you want to say about this movie?"
What do we feel
And
about Allison Sheedy?
All these like 50-year-old white men were sitting around the table, and they're like, "I would say it was pretty good at acting, wouldn't you guys say?" Everyone's like, "Yeah, for sure, yeah."
I believe that
Hub, hub,
robot
hub,
was
hub,
real.
I believe the robot was real. But then here's what Ebert says, who you had a major guff with the last episode.
He's on my show.
Yeah, sisterhood. Well, you might like him on this one because Ebert says it's 1.5 stars, and he says it's too cute for its own good.
That's the critique.
Yep, it's too cute for its own good.
I don't even know what he means by that.
Rach, I think
it's
you might be selling this movie short a little bit, and I want to talk about some themes, and I want to talk about some stuff with this movie. I've got some trivia, but I want to start with how smart this movie is. This movie is really well thought out. There's like Easter eggs that come back to show themselves. Like earlier in the movie, Number 5 is listening to a song, and then at the end, he decides to change his name. Explain to us. What happens? What happens in this sequence?
So number 5 is playing the radio and kind of reacting to different things.
Having a blast.
Yep. And then the song comes on, and this is kind of this 80s song that I didn't know I realized was written for this movie.
It's a short circuit song.
And I'm going to try to sing it, but the words won't be right. But it goes like, who is Johnny? And then like kind of like awful 80s synthesizer on it. Like it's too loud, too soft. Yeah, and so I think he likes that name because then he says like not number 5, Johnny 5.
Number 5, stupid name. Want to be Kevin or Dave?
Just watch the road, okay?
Maybe Johnny. Yeah, Johnny 5. That's cool.
It's like,
That's your Johnny 5 impression?
no, I can do better.
Not number 5, Johnny 5.
Well, you do a good impression. How dare you besmirch the good voice of Johnny 5?
Number 5's alive.
There we go. That's better.
I bet the listeners don't even know which one of us that was because it was so good.
That is true. It was very good. And then there's so much stuff about life here. No disassemble. No disassemble.
I'm telling you, I think there's some political pieces underneath of this again.
Yeah, that's like no euthanasia. Like, get rid of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like so much stuff about what is life.
Yeah, and like when you realize that you're alive and he can't kill, so he can't commit suicide. It's also anti-suicide.
Why can't he commit suicide?
Because he told him that he can't kill. He tells Gutenberg, like Gutenberg
Yeah.
says, why? Why wouldn't you disassemble? He's like, 'cause I can't kill.
That was terrible again.
I know.
Like, 'cause I can't kill.
I can't kill. Yeah, it's a little southern.
Oh my gosh. This movie's just very deep.
I think it's
Thought-provoking.
He was maybe too thought-provoking for
Yeah.
me. I had a lot of thoughts about like AI and especially where we're at now with the world.
Sure. Yeah.
Especially when I felt like the robot outacted everybody in the movie. I think like, yeah, you guys should be worried about your jobs. AI is coming for you, baby, but not how you think it's coming.
Well, that should just be credit to Tim Blaney, his puppeteer/actor. He killed it. He did a great job.
In robot form.
Yeah.
Robots are coming,
But I
y'all.
want you to know, Johnny 5 that was not his own robot voice.
Wait, what?
Do you think some of
What
the
are
other
you
robot
saying?
voices were like,
What are you saying?
do you want a peanut? Would you like a margarita? Do you think that those were actual robot
Next,
voices?
you're going to tell me that Wally was voiced by somebody? Come on, get out of here. Go popping bubbles.
Rach, Johnny 5's lasers are the same sound effect as another famous 80s sound effect.
Oh, Star Wars?
Nope. The Ghostbusters.
Did you? Pew, 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 pew.
No, the Ghostbusters proton cannons that they shoot at people.
Did they just
try to
pull
get
that from stock?
They just took the exact same sound cue.
Because why would you reinvent the wheel?
Well, you spent 10% of your budget on all those Johnny 5s.
Yeah, I guess.
Wouldn't you want to take a Johnny 5 home with you?
Yeah,
I would too.
I would too.
Yeah, I'd
I
want him just
agree.
like sitting in my hallway. And I'd be like,
Right.
"Hey, Johnny, I love you." Give him a little hug and
yeah,
kiss.
they're kind of big though. It'd be a little creepy.
Yeah. Well,
Especially
I
if they
mean,
moved.
we have a couple Halloween decorations. We have a butler and a witch who we've named.
Yeah, do we have to
Jeeves
move with
and
those?
Brumelda,
Do
yeah.
they have to come with
Oh,
us to the new house?
Those will be in Illinois with us. Yep.
That's a for sure thing?
That's a for sure.
That's not negotiable?
That is non-negotiable.
Okay, I just wanted to check.
Yep.
See how you're feeling
Well,
about
it's
that.
always good to check in, but
Yeah.
yeah, I would never ask the question again. They'll be with us the rest of our lives. I'm getting buried with them. They'll be on each side of me.
Because I'll burn them down. Spread their ashes on you.
No, how funny would that be? Be like, hey, they're ready for you whenever you get buried now. 2 vials of ashes.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. A Johnny 5 was used in a scary movie after this. A scary movie that I just watched last Halloween season. And I think I even showed you like a moment in this movie too. There's a moment in the movie where Mrs. Fratelli from Goonies,
Okay.
she gets her head exploded by a basketball that gets thrown at it. Do you remember this movie?
Vaguely.
It's Wes Craven, the guy who did
Man.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. You showed me a little bit of this film, and
Yep.
it was bananas.
It's bonkers.
and that was not the only thing that was crazy about that film.
No.
There were lots of things that
lots
were
of
weird.
craziness.
Oh, I wish I could remember what that
It's
was.
called Deadly Friend. Do you remember the plot to this?
Is she a robot?
He's got a robot, and the robot gets destroyed by some bullies, I think. Somebody destroys it.
Okay.
And then he's got the chips or whatever. He's going to rebuild the robot. The robot was like super smart. It was becoming sentient. And then the girl next door who he's in love with,
Yeah.
she gets, I think, hit by a car.
Yep.
And so then he puts the chip
In
inside
her
of her.
brain.
And then
Yeah.
she comes back to life.
Yep.
But now the robot had shown some dangerous tendencies beforehand. And now it starts showing more dangerous tendencies in her body.
Yeah.
And she throws a basketball at a lady's head, and her head explodes. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like a watermelon.
That one's also a bit of a thinker, I think.
Yeah. Yep. Probably we should watch it for summers off. It's probably a Halloween
It's
episode.
pretty wild.
But yeah, that little robot. That was a Johnny Five reconstructed for
So fun.
it. You had already mentioned that it looks like Wall-E.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything, like bringing up Wall-E, bringing up this movie, do you have a favorite robot movie?
Wally.
You didn't even let me finish.
Sorry. Go ahead.
You want to think about it a little bit?
Was that the end of your question?
Yeah.
Well, I did let you finish then. Yeah, Wally.
Oh, okay. Do you have a second favorite?
I mean, Star Wars, they have some cute robots in them as well.
Who's your favorite robot in Star Wars?
I'm a sucker for R2-D2.
Yeah, more than BB-8?
BB-8 is cute, but I've been with R2-D2
See,
a little bit longer.
That's how I feel. I think BB-8's cuter, but R2 and I go way back.
Yeah.
So I gotta pick
BB-8's
R2.
real cute.
Yeah, so cute.
Yeah, am I missing any big ones? Those are the cutest.
Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Oh, yeah, I guess those are robots?
Those are robots.
No,
Ex Machina, you already mentioned.
but that's an android?
Yeah.
Would we say that Terminator 2? I mean, they're also like liquid, though, so it's complicated.
Yeah.
What are you?
I don't know.
Are you a robot?
Another thinker. And are they turning sentient? Because he's starting to feel things. He seems like he really cares about John Connor, but was he programmed that way?
Yeah.
Lots of good conversations. Go back and revisit those episodes.
So is that your
Because I'm
favorite
sure we
robot?
went really deep into the philosophy of them.
Yeah.
It's kind of just a philosophy episode. I think it's probably Wall-E or T2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those two are the best.
What a spread.
Depending on my mood.
I love how you try to like elevate the themes of this movie. Like when you were a kid, did you really love it when he shoots the belt buckle and the bad guy's pants fall down?
I'm sure I laughed my ass off.
Yeah. I'm sure.
I'm sure I thought like, oh, that's classic comedy right there.
Yeah, very much a thinker. This one.
I like how he can control how powerful his laser blasts are.
Mm-hmm.
Something to consider when you go to rate how smart that robot is. Short Circuit 2. I think we need to just approach the topic.
Okay.
Now,
It's not happening. I'm not watching
no,
it.
I don't expect you to. It's
good.
terrible. It does not. Oh, I don't remember it. I remember liking it as a kid, but that means nothing. It did terrible ratings wise, like on Rotten Tomatoes, and it falls into the sequel trap that a lot do. If you had to guess, if the robot was going to go to a new place, where does the robot go?
Well, if the robot was in Oregon, the robot's gonna go to New York. Start spreading the news. Am I right?
That's exactly right.
Yes, everyone goes to New York in the sequel.
Yep. It's Gremlins 2. It's
Home Alone
Home Alone 2. Yeah. For sure.
Freddy versus Jason. Some
No.
sequel.
No, Jason Takes Manhattan. Jason 8.
8.
And then it's kind of like Homeward Bound 2. They go to San Francisco.
Yep.
But yeah, you got to go either to space
Yep.
or you got to go to the big city. And he chose big city. And I don't, like I said, I don't remember a lot of the details about it, but there's no Ally Sheedy, there's no Steve Gutenberg. They all take it off.
Maybe they're dead. Maybe he killed them.
And maybe
Because
Ben
they were
kills
gonna-
them and steals the robot.
Yeah, because number 5 was gonna out him that he's in brownface the
Yeah.
whole time.
That was really Fisher Stevens the whole time.
Yeah,
Or
and he
Stevens
decides
Fisher, I
to
can't
kill
remember
them
which way.
all.
Wow. Everybody had a right to fear him.
Very cool.
They wrote a script for number 3, but number 3 was terrible. Like, the script looked awful, and the studio nixed it because the Terminator movies were in full swing. I think T2 had just come out when number 3 had gotten to the studio, and they're like, nobody's going to want to watch a fun robot movie. We're into robots blowing up and murdering each other. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was right.
That was the right call.
Table that.
Yep. But the film studio Spyglass is making a reboot, and it's stuck in pre-production right now.
As we speak, you say.
Yep.
Wow. I wonder what Steve Gutenberg's going to do. Do you think between that and
Police Academy
8, he's going to have
He's got some tough
another
choices.
heyday? Steve Gutenberg had some tough choices to make.
Yep. True story. Rach, other acting talk. What'd you think of number 5? Like, go through number 5
Number
and his
5
acting.
was incredible. I want you to like look at me in the eyes and hear me when I say this. I thought the robot was amazing.
Yeah, okay.
It's hard for me to remember that is a person doing it. It was so good. It was so good.
Do you think these quotes will find their way into your everyday vernacular?
Oh, I know they will. Maybe just
what
the
I
voice.
say is, you got to work on it.
I'm working.
Stephanie. No disassemble. No disassemble. Beautiful.
I need a little bit of practice.
If you think Wally, I think you'll get there.
Wow. Yeah, even the voice. How can that guy say?
It's ridiculous.
Wally.
He's like,
Stephanie.
no, I didn't steal anything from that movie. Nothing at all. I don't know where all that came from.
All original
I'll be honest,
content.
you all should be ashamed of yourselves for even mentioning it because this is all original.
This is from my brain.
Oh my gosh. Did you have anything else that you would like to
Let's talk
broach?
about the music just for a hot
Oh,
second.
sure. Yep. Absolutely.
Man, like, as that started, were you just unnerved? It was so unnerving, the music, but it was like an 80s style. Like,
Yeah.
No, that's Killer Clowns. I hope you were listening.
Yeah, that was great. I heard it too. I was like, was that Killer Clowns?
It is, which is great. And this was like 80s Dunkirk. I just felt
80s
like I
Dunkirk.
was so on edge, like, what's going to happen? It's very suspenseful. But it was 80s, so it was cool.
So you liked the music?
No, I did not like
I
the
didn't
music.
either. I thought the
I
score-
hated it.
I thought this is like, we've had a lot of terrible scores this season. My best friend's wedding had a terrible score. It Takes Two had a terrible score. Mario obviously had a terrible score. This had a terrible score. Like, we have had a lot of stinkers when it comes to scores.
Yeah. I guess.
Anything else?
I guess the only other thing I would think to say is I think one of my problems with it is normally when you have a robot come to life situation or a creature or whatever situation, usually it's a child acting opposite of said creature or robot. And so I think I maybe forgive a lot of the acting piece in that because like it's a kid.
Yeah.
But because it's adults in this, I cannot forgive them for how poorly they did.
Who's worse between the two?
I think Allison.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, why do you say that? Why is Ally worse?
Because she's worse. Because she's bad. She's just bad in this. You
See,
don't see her as bad in this?
No, I don't think she's good, but I think
I liked her in other movies, but I did not like
I do
her
too.
in this.
She's much better in St. Elmo's Fire. I don't. Yeah, she's worse than Steve Gutenberg. She is.
I mean, she has more to do, so
Like I
that's
said,
hard.
Gutenberg's better than It Takes Two for me. I think he
Okay.
took a step up because he actually can deliver a punchline, unlike in that movie where he couldn't even read off a page.
Sure.
So, I don't know. I think, yeah, Ally, if we say you can't act your way out of a paper bag, I think she got stuck in that paper bag a little bit.
Someone stapled it shut.
But I think what her self-analysis was, like you said, was pretty
I could
good
see
self-awareness there by saying, like, I was exhausted. I wasn't getting anything. I was pushing. Like, I think all those things are real.
Yeah. Because like I said, I have seen her in things that I've liked her in. So it's not that I think that she's a bad actress, but she was bad in this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
And I
I
think
can
that's fair.
separate that from the person.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'd agree with you.
Yeah. Now, if she was 10, that would have been fine. I would have said, that's okay, 10-year-old. We'll forgive you. It's fine. It's like E.T. It's fine.
Yeah, because the kid in E.T. I think is overrated too. Some
That's
people talk
fine.
about that kid being good. I think he's whatever. What did you think of? Have you ever seen Mac and Me? That movie with the weird little alien?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, it's on our summer's off list then.
right? No, wait, that's
Gremlins.
Gremlins.
But
That's Mac and
they
me.
just walk weird and make goofy faces, and I do that walk and
You do.
that weird puckery face all the time.
Yep.
Okay, so I want to ask you about that. But this movie compared to E.T.
E.T.
Okay.
In what? Wait, what? You're gonna ask me that?
Yeah.
Yeah, E.T.
You ready for
is
this?
better. What?
I think this movie's better than E.T.
No, you don't.
I
No, you don't.
don't love E.T.
Yeah, but still, this. Okay. Okay, go ahead. You finish your thought.
No,
I don't need to interrupt you. Go
I
on.
think that the robot's so charming. I'm won over by his charm.
Nobody says that the robot's not charming.
But
I
he's
love the robot. The robot is cuter than E.T.
Yes.
Yes, we can agree on that.
And has better personality.
As a movie, this is not better than E.T. This is not.
Same complicated stories.
No, you're getting blinded by the cuteness of number 5, and I know because I see it too. Number 5 is adorable,
And the actor does
very
such a
funny.
good job.
The actor's great.
Yeah.
Number 5 is great in this.
He's the protagonist.
He is. He carries as much of the movie as a robot can.
Yeah, it's like going to see Hamlet, and the Hamlet killed it. And how can I get mad if everything around him is swirling and shit? It's like, well, at least Hamlet killed it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I feel a little bit that way for this movie.
Yeah, this is just like Hamlet.
Yeah, this movie's like Hamlet. Oh my gosh, I haven't even thought about that.
Whoa. I can't believe you asked me that. I can't believe you answered how you answered.
But I'm really not an E.T. fan, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I was as a kid at one point, but it came early on where I was just like, all the other kids are talking about E.T. still, and I think that movie kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Not sucks, that's too strong, but I don't like it.
It's okay. It's okay to not like it or not have it be your favorite. But I think if you want to keep on your critic's hat as far as like movies, you might want to give that a rethink.
You
okay?
think
That's all I'm
people are going
saying.
to come after me when I say Short Circuit's better than
I just
E.T.?
think we're gonna lose a little bit of credibility with some of our listeners here.
Well, I'll just shove them over to other movie podcasts.
There you go.
Go listen to these guys. You could trust them more. They're like, the cinematography? Spielberg? Are you kidding me? Like, yeah, I know, but I'm just talking about, isn't Johnny
know.
5 cuter than E.T. though?
Everyone agrees. No one's saying he's not.
Well, we can all agree.
Yeah.
Gremlins is better than both.
I love Gremlins.
Gremlins is the best.
I'm here for
1
it.
and 2, both awesome. All right, Rach, if you are ready, I am ready.
Okay. I think I could be ready. Let me just check. Okay, laughing at pants falling down. Check her house must smell. Same hair. Wally. Yep, got my notes.
Okay. Wow, some real hard hitters there.
Yep. All right. My synopsis.
Mm-hmm.
Actors need to be worried. AI are going to take over. This movie proves that robots can act circles around humans. Be afraid. Be very afraid. 12%. This is under camp, but above, It Takes Two. So I would also agree. Steve Guttenberg, maybe he's better in this.
This movie's a 12%er for you?
Yeah. Because the robot is the best thing about it.
Yeah.
Everything else
He
is
didn't carry it to
terrible.
like a 30 or something?
No. God, no. Guy's a robot. He can only do so much.
This is incredible. I thought it was going to be a lot better than that for you, but it really was just nominally better than Super Mario Brothers.
I mean, Super Mario Brothers
We
is
went
the
from 1 to 12?
there's infinite space between there, right? Super
Oh, okay.
Mario Brothers is the worst movie of all time that I've ever seen. Ever.
Hey, I want you to know, you've said that about a movie every season for the last 3 seasons.
And I mean it. When I say it, I want you to know I am sincere in that thought at that time. I believe myself.
Yep. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. You're going to be shocked.
Am I going to be shocked? 100% Ty?
No,
Is that where you're at?
it's not 100%.
But you're high. Go on.
This movie is a 62% tied with P.S. I Love You. I think this is a fresh movie.
Yeah, I bet you do.
What does that mean?
You don't think E.T. is good and you're saying this is fresh?
Well, the listeners, what did I say the critics were? The critics are
Yeah, you're right. You're right in
61%. I was only 1% above them.
The critics who are also wrong. And the audience who is also wrong.
67%
You're
of
all
the
wrong.
audience. So
I get that this has nostalgia for you. And I get that number 5 is, in fact, alive. I get that.
Hey, this is important. I have an important question to ask you.
Okay.
Pretend that you and I are in 5th grade together.
Okay. I think I know where this is going.
And I bring this movie to school.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like open to the idea of like dating me. You know I have this huge crush on you. You think like
I know you have a crush
yeah,
on me?
you know it.
Okay.
And you're kind of entertaining the idea. Your friends are like, well, what about Ty? He's very sweet. He's nice. You know, he has nice hair.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, that's okay. And you're like, he has long eyelashes. He looks like Snow White. He's very pale. And so they're like trying to sell you on the idea, and you're entertaining it. And you're going to take the weekend to think about it. But you know, it's one of those things, the dance is like in a week, and you know you need to get a boyfriend this weekend.
Okay.
And you're considering a couple other gents as well. But nobody's like has you head over heels. We're all kind of tied.
Okay.
It's my movie on Friday, and you're like, ooh, I wonder what this is going to do for Ty's ranking and my, like, who's going to be my boyfriend this weekend to take to the dance next week. And we put it on Short Circuit, and you watch Short Circuit. What do you think leaving the classroom that day, at the end of the day, did it help, did it hurt, or do I say the same?
This might surprise you, but I would have loved this in 5th grade.
Oh, okay.
I would have loved this, and I would have loved you. So, there it is.
You said like, oh, cute robot
This movie's so cute. Look at yeah, I would have loved it. Because I was in 5th grade. It's different.
Some other loser brought Flubber. What an idiot.
Flubber.
Yeah, what a waste, huh? Am I right or am I right?
I might as well bring the Nutty Professor, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay. There's the kid who brought Flubber, and there's me who brought Short Circuit. We're tied right now. But based on the movies, you're going to decide. What do you choose?
Well, I hadn't seen Flubber yet, so I probably would go with Flubber.
Well, you haven't seen Short Circuit either.
I know, but Flubber was like the newer movie at the time.
Yeah.
And so it probably would have been cooler because it was newer.
It would have been. That
versus
kid,
like a
that
movie
kid,
that's like, that looks old.
That kid paid for a new release, so
Yeah.
you knew he had more money too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that kid had $6, and Ty only had $3.
Yeah,
So
their
I'm gonna
hair
go with
looks
him.
weird in that movie. Why do they have the same hair? Why do boys and girls have the same hair? Ew.
So I lost you
to
to the
Flubber.
Flubber kid.
Yeah. Well, you didn't until you brought up that as an example. But if it's a competition,
Okay,
yeah,
have fun
it goes to Flubber.
Have
Flubber
fun
is
with
better
your
than
rich Flubber boyfriend.
my
Hope you enjoy.
Flubber.
Yeah, Flubber lover. Hope you have fun and enjoy Dancing to Breathe by Faith Hill.
Oh, coming out with all the 5th grade
Yep.
stops.
And I will take you in my arms. That was 7th grade, but you know what I mean. You guys are still probably together. You and Flubber boy. Oh,
Oh, man.
well, parting thoughts, parting suggestion for our next film. What do you think?
Well, we have 2 left.
Yep.
And so I just want to extend maybe an olive branch to you.
You told me this with Yeah Sisterhood. I want you to know.
You did,
And you did not extend an olive
Okay,
branch. I
okay,
thought that
okay.
movie was not very good.
Yep,
I wish
you
I was
also-
watching with your aunts. I never got to watch it with the aunts, so I would say that movie did not hit for me.
That's fair. That's fair. You made a compelling point, an argument, and I apologize that I subjected you to that.
Okay.
But
But you also thought I was going to like that movie more, like how I thought you were going to like Short Circuit more. It's
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
kind of interesting sometimes how we predict these things. Again, I will try to give it olive branch this week.
Okay.
It's been a while, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Next week, my film for you.
Mm-hmm.
And my last film of the season is going to be a movie called The Birdcage.
Rach, while we're doing this test, you want to tell everybody about your goofy ass pants you're wearing?
I wouldn't call them goofy ass pants as much as I would call them comfy ass pants.
Oh, yeah. Way to
They're-
flip the script.
They're flowy. They maybe look like chocolate chip ice cream.
Yeah. They look like MC Hammer got into a Dairy Queen after hours and just went to town.
The crotch is not low. They're just normal like parachute pants. They're
Oh,
just like
I never realized how big the pockets are. Look
They
at
got
how big.
giant
Look at how
pockets.
deep those
great
monsters
for
are.
stuffing Kleenexes.
Oh my gosh.
Or that's it. I thought I had
could-
something else on there.
Yeah, you could fit a whole treasure trove in there.